Oh
too
no.
powerful.
Oh god.
Powerful.
He cannot be
He
left
told the
alive.
government the funky little numbers in the back of his mom's credit card. In parentheses, he's in big trouble.
Oh. Oh.
Can
In
you guys?
parentheses, he used it to buy V-Bucks.
Oh, no.
This
$19 Fortnite
Can-
card.
am I not? Can you guys hear me?
No.
No.
Well, right now, we can.
Oh, okay. I gave a countdown. You guys are live. That was our intro. Welcome to the reception
No one heard
table.
the countdown. That was the only
We
thing
didn't hear anything.
I just figured it was ignored, and you guys just kept on about
Wow.
how I died. Let's run this from the top.
Guys, there was
Oh,
something
I'm
actually wrong with the reception.
Oh my goodness, there was.
No, my God.
You're still
All right, we're rolling with it.
Wow.
Worst beginning we've ever had.
I think that's our best. We're keeping it all.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the reception table. I'm glad to have you all here tonight on this lovely afternoon. We're with our fantastic cast, going from left to right, and you might notice one missing. If you don't mind kicking it off, Arya.
Hi. Yes, my name is James, also playing Arya. And we are missing someone, but passing it to someone else. Next person.
Hello, I'm Justin. I play Astrid. I like to punch and uppercut, non-lethally though. Sometimes lethally if you make me mad.
It's true.
My name
All right,
is
next.
Cameron. I play Calicath, the bandaged bard. I like to explode or swing blades extremely lethally if possible.
And that's on to me, I guess. Hi, I'm a person, and I play Zatira. I'm sometimes lethal, sometimes not. It's really just, how I'm feeling that day. Yeah.
Thank
All right,
you.
glad we went through
Excellent.
everyone's lethality preferences. Welcome to
I
the
didn't
reception
get to say
table.
mine.
Well,
Well,
You missed your chance.
Undetermined.
Oh, that's
As
too
for-
bad. Rose, continue.
I hate you all. You guys are trained. You guys are grabbing me like the Ganon, and you're just down smashing me before. Like I can't get a word out, dude. It's just grab smash, grab smash. Ooh, welcome to the reception table. We're here to play D&D. We're going to be continuing our story in the world of Azabuth. Do we have any notifications or any man, you guys got my concentration all out of the whack. Do we have anything?
we did it.
Arya, you take reins.
Hi everybody, my name is Arya again. In terms of notifications, we have an excellent podcast coming out, but you guys will probably see it in 2 weeks because that's usually our schedule with that. And I hope everyone has a fantastic episode coming up.
That really good one. We're gonna expedite that. It's gonna come out this week because it's really good.
Oh, okay, cool. Also, in terms of lethality, Arya
damn
is
it.
actually negative because he saved a person. Saved the one person he killed, so his KDA is in the negative right now.
And with that, we'll go on to our recap. Last we were here upon the reception table within Azabuth, our adventurers had collected the vine that they had sought so long for, finding Canton Prin, engaging in battle with him, and finding his two companions as well, a mysterious third character and a most heinous Smoking Joe. After that altercation, they did escape with the vine. Progressing from there, though, not too long after, a third party of interest appeared, taking them hostage, and seemingly interested in the vine, did not take the vine, rather brought them back to their leader, Mr. Sawyer Santiago, within the distant Galahad, a region within Crossroads, the city that they've been traversing. After a discussion with Mr. Sawyer, our adventurer Zatira took a job with him, obtaining his brand and joining a part of his family. As for the others, they were heading their way out of that manor after discussing with Sawyer and interestingly being allowed to leave with the vine before Walter the butler led them out to a familiar face, and we'll pick up from there. One moment.
So we just walk outside, and we see Mako, right?
He's just there
That's
in
correct.
the flesh.
Mako,
Is he alone?
Mako Knight.
Ooh.
It's at this point we are in the nighttime, sun's set, and he stands there. His red wardrobe over. He's wearing a paladin-esque armor, although you can tell by the book on his waist and the mace on his side, he's a more clerical nature for the red. He is alone, and a gleaming smile is over his cheeks, almost looking like all red and rosy, a little bit like painful, as though he's just almost always smiling individual. And he speaks out to you. Hello! Nice to meet you all. I'm Mako Knight.
Who?
Zatira will have her hand rest on where her light crossbow is and say, "Why, may I ask, are you here?"
Oh, no. Excuse me. I'm so sorry, stream. There's a problem, and I have to resolve it. I'm so sorry. We're gonna have to put a pause. All right.
Gosh.
Mako Knight smiles, and you ask, why are you here? He smiles and
Why
looks
are you
back at you. Well, a few, friendly souls of mine informed me that, they had spotted a particular band traveling through, a couple of wanted individuals, and most particularly heading into this estate. And his eyes look over to Walter standing there, kind of just hands by his side, with a lax position. But besides that, I was given notice. I have no quarrel with you, no interest in you, as I hear that someone's been apprehended, and I'm just here to have a discussion with Mr. Sawyer. So if you wouldn't mind, and he smiles and gestures that he would like to pass. You guys all blocking the door.
Oh.
Who was apprehended, if you don't mind me asking?
A companion of yours, or a traveling fellow. I'm sure you know him well. Mr. Domino. Though, that's not quite his true name.
Yeah, I haven't seen Domino's since this morning.
And Walter steps up as you're saying that, and Walter goes, "Yes, Mr. Mako. He's been apprehended. He's in the building now."
Fuck you, Walter.
I give
It's-
a look at Walter as well, like, oh.
Walter gives a little bit of a
Why-
head
how-
nod.
What were we supposed to pretend like we never were traveling with him since the beginning?
I haven't seen
I'm
Domino
sure
since this
Gaslighting
morning.
goes a long way.
I've only
Okay.
seen Maria this morning.
Mr. Sawyer had me send word to Mr. Mako as soon as your arrival.
Oh, are you two like
See?
friends or something? Is that what's happening?
Companions? No. Work partners, maybe. But that's none of your concern. And again, if you
Yeah,
wouldn't
I-
mind. And he presses
Yeah,
again.
Work partners, you say? Well,
Yeah, no
turns
problem.
out
Just
you and I may
Yeah,
actually be seeing a little
I'm
bit
gone.
more of each other.
you head
I'm too
off,
tired for
Astrid.
this.
All right. Astrid
Where?
pushes on.
Yeah.
And as he walks, Mako just like the top of his body follows yours as though he's being keenly aware of your movements, just in case you lashed out. And he just smiles. There's no like point. He doesn't reach for his weapon. He just
And
has his hands to his side.
No way. Yeah, in no way do I want to look threatening. I am tired.
You pass.
I passed
I'm
by
going
with
to where we
Astrid as well.
discussed
also with
where
Astrid, because I still don't
assume
even
that
know
we're
who this
going-
guy is.
going, which is the bar.
Yeah, we actually don't know where we're going.
Yeah, you
But-
don't know where you're
We
going.
have no
But
clue where we're
nonetheless, you three pass by him, and he gives a nod as each one goes by and steps out of your way with just a big smile on his face.
Hero will reiterate her question, like still being interested in like, oh, business, huh? you and I may actually be seeing more of each other then.
Well, good. I would love to get to know how much you've learned from him. Perhaps Sawyer will have it that we meet. But I'm not one that has any particular interest in you at the moment. You all have a good night now.
One more thing before I let you just walk in, and then I'll stop bothering you. What exactly are you going to be discussing related to Domino?
I'm afraid that's a matter.
Since we will be working together.
I'm afraid that's a matter of privacy. What was your name?
Zatira.
Zatira. What a pretty name.
Hmm.
If we're to be working together, and if I'm to be telling you anything, I'll have a confirmation with Mr. Sawyer beforehand. But I appreciate your gusto and your go-get-'em attitude. I like that you're so apt to work.
That's why he hired me.
Quite. You have a good night now. Walter? Yes, sir. If that is all for you. And Walter opens the door, but you guys may still interact with Mako if you wish.
Zatira will wait a little bit because she doesn't want to do the awkward thing of like, oh, goodbye, and then we end up walking in the same direction because she will be walking in the same direction.
Oh, you're gonna go back inside?
Well, that's where she has a room to sleep in there.
That makes
so,
sense. And
she's still like trying to help the gang figure out where they're gonna sleep.
That would
Right,
be
right.
nice.
Mako begins walking in, Walter leading them. You're staying outside for just a moment, perhaps to have a last word with your party. And as he's leaving and the door is closing, he stops the door, turns his head around, just peering through with his back leaning through. You can just see half of his body. And he looks at the Goliath, not Goliath. He looks at Arya and Pearl thrown over your shoulder. Oh, and take care of him, why don't you? He looks a bit under the weather. And he gives you a little wink before walking inside.
I don't understand what a wink is, so I give a very awkward blink with both of my eyes, and I look to Astrid and I think he has something in his eye or something. I
He's
don't know.
being coy, Arya.
Coy.
And that's called a wink.
Why would anyone be? What's coy?
And with that, they
Kind of
disappear
fish.
into the manor.
You really are just. They don't have education in heaven, is that it?
Well, everything we need to know is right here, and I tap on my sword. Anyways,
I think that's how that
Creative
works
language.
entirely.
Yeah. Anyways, where are we sleeping? I'm very tired. We've been up for. Well, I don't know what hours are, but if I were to say hours, I'd say more than 24.
What the fuck do you know, brother? Anything at all?
Yeah. Well, I mean, of course I know what hours are. I mean, wink.
Where are we
I
still?
learned-
See there, that's being coy.
Oh, I see why he did it. No, that's funny. That's cool.
Yes.
Where are we sleeping?
Well, you don't have a room anywhere. I don't think our bounties have been lifted yet from the city guard. So you may not be able to just get into a hotel room. Depending on how Sebastian's feeling and how Naomi's feeling, they may let you stick around at least a wee bit longer.
Doesn't Naomi?
Work
I
for
don't
them?
know.
Yes.
I don't know if he's. Oh,
You
continue.
don't know if he's in a good mood with you.
I don't give a shit. I'm not staying around any of the Santiagos anymore. Period.
I will
Alright.
note, Zatira,
Fair.
at least as far as you've been round and you've seen, Naomi had not left the manor. If he had done it when you weren't paying any attention, that's possible. However, he has not left the manor for the time that you guys had gotten there. He went into a different room that you guys were in the dining room, along with the mall.
We could try and stay at the orphanage.
I'm down. Right now I feel a lot. Wait, I've never been. Never mind. I don't feel comfortable being around some of these people right now. So anywhere that's not controlled by Mr. Sawyer would be nice.
Well,
Bit of rain starts to find
you
its
may
way.
not be comfortable about this either, but you know, as the rest of us know, we should probably inform you of this as well. After all, I don't think you will be nearly as much of a threat to sharing about this. And glancing over at Calicath.
Yeah.
We believe that the lady, the grandmother of Calicath, is tied to the gold masks.
Oh, the gold mask I just sold for 2,100 shiny things.
I mean the gold masks that we said were a threat and were related to this entity Y that had possessed Pearl and made him go crazy.
Ah.
That gold masks.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
This is true.
good thing I still have him here, and hopefully he does not. Honestly, guys, I just need to write some of this down. I'm not. Arya takes a second
There's
just
a
to be
lot
like,
we're throwing at you within one day, I will admit.
Well,
mean-
you gotta think. Nadine hasn't tried to kidnap us.
Yet.
Kill
that's
us.
true. That's
Yet.
true.
She
I
hasn't
mean-
tried.
Yet.
She provided us with excellent information.
After we, exposed the little secrets
We
ourselves.
didn't expose anything. She showed it to us herself.
Forced her hand a little to show it.
I think it would
Yeah.
be a better option, and it doesn't matter what your opinion is, Atira. You're not even staying there anyways.
I'm
Go
not.
back inside your mansion. No! You got a room here, don't you?
I know.
Stay there.
I know. That's what I said. I'm saying, yeah, I'm not.
Good.
I'm
Alright,
just letting
I'll be on my
Arya
way.
know that he's, not the safest there either.
I mean, we were in not the best place yesterday, but 2 nights ago when we slept last. There was a crocodile like a block away from there.
Yeah. Fortunately,
Seems like
there was
nowhere's safe.
With, where you were sleeping.
That's true. That's true.
And that's true.
Calicath
It doesn't
shakes
seem like
his
anywhere's
head and
safe right
begins
now.
moving towards the orphanage.
Wait, Calicath.
With or without the party.
Bye, Zatira. I'll see you tomorrow.
Okay, don't get possessed. Goodbye.
Will do. Goodbye. We'll find you, I guess.
Astrid, will you be joining us?
Yes. Bye,
Oh.
Zatira. Don't turn to ash or get. Don't. Be careful.
Don't die. Right.
You might have
Oh, Arya.
Right.
Yeah?
Don't drink the tea she offers you. And then I turn around and walk back in.
Okay, tea. Yes, I know what tea is. Excellent.
There's nothing wrong with the tea.
Okay, now I'm
That's
conflicted
not
again.
what you said. As I'm continuing back in there.
Man, one
It
person
was
says
Well,
one thing.
the tea
another
that I
person
had
says
wasn't
another
that-
thing. Gosh.
Yeah, the tea wasn't that bad, honestly.
Okay, well, that's 2 out of 3. I'll drink the tea.
Excellent. Then we continue towards the orphanage.
It's not too
Okay.
long.
I want to whisper
although,
to Cal. You don't. She.
Internet, or did you?
No, I think
No, everyone was talking.
We're just waiting and not trying to talk over it.
Oh.
And we're waiting for you.
Okay. I whispered to Cal. She's not gonna.
Well, now it's internet.
Now it's in that.
Be-
no.
Just the tea, right?
I heard something about tea.
Because I was just making a bluff.
Oh no, the tea was fine. It only happened once, and it was several years ago. It's fine.
Well, That's good. Was it bad tea, or was it just like, why is the Tyrion
No.
saying not to drink the tea?
She drugged my tea at one point
Oh,
because she wanted me to see vivid visions of something, and it ultimately helped me. She
Oh,
knew
yeah.
what she was doing. It was for a greater purpose, but no one seems to understand that.
I get that. My boss used to do that to me.
And as that happens, you guys travel. A thunderstorm has rolled in. It's raining and now, and crackling of lightning kind of comes here and there, very sparse. It's about a 40-minute walk across the city to get into the common grounds to find what is known as the Ward of the Wayward, the orphanage that Zatira and Kalagath both grew up in. You travel for some ways, and there's not many people upon the streets, especially with the curfew still being in place. Although, with the rain coming in, you notice there's a significant drop in Redguard as well, so much so that it's really not even a challenge to sneak past them. Seems like they're quick to drop their duties as soon as things aren't comfortable. But regardless, using the rain and using the thunderstorm as cover, you guys do eventually make it to where you're now about 40 feet, 30 feet away from the church, beaten down and being pelted with rain, overgrown, and just as you saw it before, though now it's nighttime.
After,
What's in my
after you?
wallet?
Is this it, Kalagath?
I didn't hear that last part, Rose. Did you say we were at the orphanage?
About 30 feet away, looking at it.
This'll be it.
Oh, okay. And you said your grandma lives here? Is she a
Hey.
religious woman, or?
Yes. Yes. I would say she's religious.
Oh,
She does live here. It's a little bit worn down from when I used to stay at it, but still
Mhm.
standing. Proud-ish.
cool. Well, pride is an important thing.
And I move to enter the orphanage.
Door's unlocked as you twist the handle and push it open. And with that, the party finds a rest away from the pressing rain inside of this empty church. It's quite small, but not incredibly, it's not cramped, but there's definitely not separate rooms to be in. And currently no one greets you as it is the middle of the night, and you guys quietly slip in.
Remind me, when we were here before, were there many other people staying here, or was it only Nadine?
In this building, Nadine. And there are separate, smaller hovels that kids would live in, and those were where the orphans would stay. And they would come here in the mornings for food or lunch, and they would tend to the area around here where they had a small garden for their daily chores. But this building specifically, Nadine lives up a ladder and in a small attic space in what is a church.
As we step in, I just need to know. As we step in, Kalakath calls out, "Miss Nadine, it's Kalakath. Are you here?" Not terribly loud, but just loud enough to be heard.
There's a moment of silence, and above you, you can hear this like creaking of wood, and it seems like old bed springs kind of, and you hear some movement happen above. Not too frantic, not too quick, but happening. And a voice does call out, though you can hear the footsteps first as someone slowly moving above you and forwards to that opening where the ladder goes in. And Kalakath, is that you?
Kalakath, with a pleasant smile, responds, "Oh yes, ma'am. I'm glad to see you're still here."
Well, where else would I be? And eventually, she makes. You can see these barefooted feet. Excuse me, as she's stepping down this ladder, facing her backside facing you guys as she comes down to the first floor. What are you doing so late?
I know, I'm sorry, ma'am. I don't mean to be a bother. But, as it happens, would you mind if me and my friends rested here for the night? We don't seem to have anywhere else to go.
Oh, That wouldn't be any trouble. No, not for you or if you. If you're friends of Kalakath, of course you can stay here. I'm sorry, but the only room that's open is yours, unless you plan on sleeping within the church tonight. Which, if that's the case, I'll be happy to let you stay down here. I hope you understand if I would rather my personal belongings not no one be around upstairs.
Ma'am, I fully understand. We'll happily make do with the church out here. Just a little bit
Yeah.
of shelter from the rain and a place to rest our bodies would be lovely.
Yeah, I can. You boys hungry? It's late, but I could fetch something. I have a couple
Oh,
things
okay.
in the church.
It's all right. It's all right. I didn't mean to wake you in the first place. I would rather you know we were here before we just snuck in and passed out.
Hmm.
Now that you know we're here, you're free to go back to bed.
Well, not before I situate things. And with that, her cane that she walks with, she lifts it slightly, and as she lifts it, the wood growth beneath her, the wooden boards, you can see a vine start to reach its way up to the cane that's lifting off of the ground, at the same speed at which the cane lifts. And as the vines just barely reach to touch the cane, she smashes the cane down onto the floor, and like basically killing the plant instantly. And there's a shifting of the tables to your right. You hear the as these vines start to move over the tables that are typically used for eating, and a bed of flowers grow out of the dead wood. 3 beds of flowers. It's
You're
not a
perfect.
bed
Never ceases to
mattress,
amaze
but
me.
it's something.
Oh, these are lovely. These are beautiful. That's wonderful.
Very well.
A bed.
Is there anything else I
Thank
could
you,
do for you
ma'am.
all? It's quite late.
No, ma'am. You've done fantastic.
No.
Thank you so much for your hospitality.
No, thank you for visiting, and you've done well too. She starts to head her way up the ladder.
Well,
Good night. It was nice meeting you.
There's no real response as she disappears upstairs.
That's fine.
And as she goes upstairs, Asher doesn't say anything else, but he just boom face plants into the flower bed and
Into
is
the flower
passed
bed?
out.
Passed out. And I think I've said it before, or sorry, you lay on the bed, flowers, that one that's particularly larger for you. These white flowers that look sort of like they're coiled with these blue centers kind of slightly glowing. It's not enough to irritate you in your sleep, but it's kind of a nice blue aura kind of like lighting up the room just a little bit, like a nightlight, if you will. And there's occasionally flashes in the windows as the thunderstorm rolls on. The night's just beginning.
So,
well,
Kalakath, what are we gonna do with our little guest here? And I pat Pearl, who's over my shoulder. Should we tie him up? Right.
He's still got manacles on his arms and legs.
That's true. Yeah, I would like tie up the manacles to something solid so he doesn't just crawl
think-
away.
I think tying him up would be the best option. He was incredibly slippery before.
Mm-hmm.
We can't risk that happening again.
Very well. You got any rope? I'm kind of light right now.
Oh, brother. Do I have some fucking rope? And I reach into my pack and start
What
pulling
is-
out rope.
Okay. Don't know what the implications of that are, but excellent, excellent.
Oh, brother,
I see
this
you're very
guy's got
prepared.
rope!
Everyone around here's got rope.
Okay, cool.
Pulling rope.
As you guys are tying them up, I would like you both to roll perception checks as you're currently tying, just like working together. He's sitting upright with his head slouched over. He's been asleep for I'd say almost now 12, a little bit over hours by now.
5. He's
5?
tired. I get it. Yeah, 5.
Damn. Yeah, I got a 13.
13. Oh, 5 roll. I thought you were saying 5 hours, and I was like, no, it's been 12 hours. But I was like, yeah, you Slay King. I was like, yeah, you tell the DM what
for it,
time
man.
has passed. You control this narrative.
No, I rolled a 5.
I
Got
also
you.
got that impression, like, nah, 5.
I was so baffled. I couldn't even argue with you. I was like, what? Okay.
Okay, I
We're
guess
so
if you
inclined to
mean-
believe him.
Yeah, if you mean 5 hours out, I guess. Sure,
I mean,
12 hours away.
gosh.
I don't know.
Calica.
I don't know,
I don't know how the math works.
Aria, you're tying him from behind. You're getting a pretty solid knot. It's nothing you need to roll for as you're tightening it up and binding him because you have so much time. Calcath, as you're helping, and he's sending one rope over, you're sending around the other side, one rope over, you're sending around the other side. You know, the good like surround the body kind of deal. You stop for a moment as the head kind of leans back in an awkward fashion. You can see a glint of light underneath his eyes on the tops of his cheeks. And as you investigate those cheeks, you can see that there's 1, 2, 3, 6 in total, but 3 on each side underneath the eyes of these little golden beads, almost like they're like teardrop shaped and on either eye.
Can I try to remove them?
You pull at them a little bit, and you get the inclination that they're like it's tightly fastened, and you could force it if you so wish. But you get it when you pull it, the skin goes as well, and you know naturally you're just being careful not to just rip it off. But in this moment, you recognize that like you could try to remove it harder, but I want to give you that knowledge.
Yeah. Oh, and that wasn't on there before.
Nope.
I assume. Do I recognize it? Does it seem magical in there anywhere? Or does it just seem like a mark?
Roll an investigation, or in this case, it'd be an Arcana. Excuse me.
Yeah. Sure. Ooh, 21.
21.
Ooh.
So as you look at it, you do what a lot of magic users do, where they'll shine a light over. You grab a nearby candle and hold it over and kind of deal. And with that, there is a sheen as you put it over that is a telltale sign that there is a magics at foot here. But determining what those magics were is kind of difficult. They're very small beads, and they would take some time of analyzing, but they are magical in nature.
Hey, Arya, we may have a problem.
Oh, is he dead? Cause
No, he's not dead.
oh, okay.
And I grab Pearl's head and somewhat forcefully turn his head towards Arya.
Ugh.
Oh, I could just walk around.
It's this awful sight too, as he turns the face and it just looks at you unconscious, and like it doesn't look right.
Yeah.
And I point towards the beads and I say, "There's something attached to his face. I don't know exactly what, but they're magical in nature." What do you
Oh,
think?
well, I think to myself, and then I'm like, okay, and then I try wiping it off, like,
That doesn't work.
oh, well,
I could remove them
hmm,
because I don't know what they are, and not knowing what something is can be a death sentence.
that's true. Aren't you a wizard? Can't you like wizard
No,
this
I'm not
out?
a wizard.
Why aren't you a wizard?
Why aren't you a wizard?
I don't like magic.
I'll try and forcefully remove them, not by ripping them off.
Right.
Maybe perhaps more in a dexterous way. Maybe just seeing
Roll.
how strong they are with the little.
Roll an athletics check.
Huh?
Oh, you're gonna.
You're
Fucking athletics check?
you could roll a
What, am I gonna
dexterity
do
check.
flips around him?
No, an athletics check to rip. Because unless I can have you roll a dexterity check. Just use a flat dexterity.
Yeah, use your strength.
I was
to pull
using
it
your
off.
strength to pull.
Yeah, use your strength to pull.
Yeah, using your strength to
I can do
pull.
an athletics check. I was just thinking like,
The athletics check would be to pull
No,
them.
you're thinking acrobatic.
The athletic-
acrobatic flip.
Yeah,
I'm
acrobatics and
thinking
flips, but
acrobatics. Okay.
you could use your athletics to try to pull them off, or you may use your dexterity to do as you said, where you're gently trying to wipe them off.
I did
Still pretty
athletics. I
good,
got a
though.
16.
It's pretty
It's
good.
the same
16.
thing either way. It was the inclination of like, I thought I was just gonna be doing backflips around him and shit. They magically pop off.
Uh-huh.
Yo,
Yeah, no, I
dude,
got
that
a
was so
16.
sick. They'd shoot off.
You
Oh, yeah.
obviously don't go crazy to try to just fucking manhandle them off, but the athletic check is you pulling them and then they're giving some tug back and you're pulling them harder and they're giving some tug back. You pull them a little bit more and you can see this bit of blood trickle from the one that you're pulling on the left eye.
Fuck it. We ball. No, pull that
You-
bitch off.
You yoink and yank and yank
from the eye or from the thing?
from the bead, like where the bead's connected to the skin.
How big is the bead?
The bead, I would say, is no bigger than a dime. It's a little bit smaller than a dime.
Oh.
Fuck it.
And
we
there's 3 of them on either eye. So
Ignoring this man.
using
Seems
that
like he's got plenty.
16, as you begin pulling and tearing and ripping, some blood begins to trickle from the eye, and then some more, and then the top of the bead is starting to peel upwards along with skin. You may continue if you wish.
You think I
Well,
should stop here, Arya? You think this is a bad idea?
do you mind if I check him out real quick? Just
Sure, take a look, but I'm not letting go of this thing.
yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, you got like
And,
you got like your index finger just like partially, like a quarter of the tip of your index finger is underneath the bead as blood is like kind of coming out, and you're holding it in place.
Yeah. While he's doing that, I would like to divine sense one last time, and specifically, that is for anything under the hollow spell, or the location of any celestial fiend or undead within 60 feet.
So to be clear, oh sorry.
And it would be flavored as like certain color flowers will rise on me and others will drop.
The flowers on your back begin to open and bloom. Their natural form being this white and black like mixture, and then they wither and die as nothing is found. And for a clarification on the last use of this divine sense, I had a misunderstanding of how divine. Or sorry, I when you said good detect good and evil, I had a misunderstanding. I thought it was an alignment thing, not a creature thing. So it shouldn't have pinged that one time either. But in this instance, it withers and dies, unfortunately.
Right, you mean like 4 episodes ago?
Right, 4 episodes ago, where there are no fiends, no undead, and no celestials, other than the white celestial flowers that also bloom and then fall that come from Kalakath.
Yes, yes. Well, Kalakath? No clue what this is.
Excellent. You're a fantastic help.
Oh, speaking of help, I saw Domino. But I'll tell you about that tomorrow, when it's bright outside.
You know what? In this specific scenario, I think that's a great idea. And I'll let go of the thing and I'll stand up and wipe off whatever blood I might have on me. And, well, as much as I want to, I don't feel like it's a good idea to rip parts of his face off while he's unconscious.
It's probably fair. Do we want to put a bag over him so it doesn't bother us, or so we don't look at our failures, or okay?
Not a failure. I could have done it. I chose not to.
I mean, just okay.
What, you want me to rip the man's face off? Because I can do that real fast, are you?
Honestly,
You'll be shocked at the little bit of power it takes to tear skin, brother.
well, that's clearly not skin, and that's the issue, right?
Go to bed.
Is that one of your spells? Because they don't have any effect on me.
Completely.
As
ignore
they're
them, Arya.
arguing, I assume Astrid has woken up by this time. Hey, go to sleep.
All right, that.
Go to bed.
All right. Well, I'm going to bed, and it's not because y'all told me to, but I'm sleepy.
As Arya goes to bed, Kalakath will, instead of sleeping right away, he would like to study
Rip off the
one of his
beads.
books. No, he'd like to study one of his books before bed, perhaps adding a new spell or two to his repertoire.
Do you have a point of exhaustion right now?
I think I've got one.
It being 24 hours having passed, you pull the books out to read, and your eyes are fuzzy and the words blend, and you get an idea that it might be better to do this in the morning, as you are so gone that to stay up for an hour and read, your body almost won't let you, as you've literally not slept for almost over, or not now, over 24 entire hours. Like, it'd be hard to be capable of doing such a droll task. You've had your adrenaline to get you through most of this, but in this quiet church with the rain pitter-pattering above you, you get the inclination that this could be maybe something done in the morning.
Very well. I will go to sleep.
With that, you all begin to rest. Zatira, while this is happening and while they're making this trek, what are you doing as you walk back into the large manor which Sawyer has given you access and reign to, and told you to, if you need a room, to speak with Walter, who is currently preoccupied as he disappears somewhere up the stairs or down the stairs or in the building somewhere, with Mako Knight currently missing.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think at the end of last session, before I walked out with the rest of the crew, I think Walter tried to stop me and said, like, Sawyer did want to speak with me about something. And I know that Mako's... What was that?
Oh, so excuse me. That's true. However, upon hearing that you were intending to talk with him tomorrow, it is likely that information has gotten passed down to Sawyer by now.
Okay. If Walter is still around, I would like to ask him, like, do you mind if, now that I am available, sorry that took me a little long, but I should be available to meet with Sawyer now.
Regarding that conversation, you call out to find Mr. Walter, and currently he's not quite findable. I can have you roll a perception check as you begin to traverse the hallways, hoping to find Walter.
If I can't find him, then do I know or remember where Sawyer's office is?
Yes, you do know where that is from the beginning. Like, it's a pretty straight, go up the stairs, take a right, take a left, there it is. Through these large doors, you'll find the food room, and then to the right of the food room was where his somewhere was, and that was his office you've been to twice.
Alright. I'm gonna go to his office. I believe Mako has a bit of a head start on me, so I imagine he'd be in there before me. And if he's in there already talking with Sawyer, I would like to eavesdrop.
You do travel up the stairs, and you take that right, walking down the long hallway, and take another left, walking down the long hallway. Again, the geometry of this location doesn't match the outside perspective, as it's a long rather than wide manor, though you're moving in a directions that would entail that it's wider than what is physically possible. But that is something that you've experienced before, and you continue traveling. You make your way to the diner room, where there's a single person currently cutting into a steak and really struggling at it, as a dull-skinned individual is fighting his steak knife, holding it awkwardly. Sebastian, currently angry at a steak, and he's just having a trouble with this particular thing. It seems as though he's not quite handling things well, as his body shakes and he seems frustrated.
Shira will take out her vibro dagger, tap it against the table, and then have it easily slice through his little steak like butter, and then put it away and continue walking by.
Thanks, Zatira.
You're welcome.
You travel on past him, and you see that Sebastian's office, the doors are wide open. No one's in there, and there's a bit of a draft.
No one's in his office right now.
You kind of take a peek in. You can see a destroyed piano in the back left of the room, and a awkwardly placed, not quite in a good position aesthetically, organ now sits in the room, currently not making any tunes or musics. And then the office, the actual desk and the chairs that you had once spoken with Sawyer before, and his little makeshift library behind it currently sits to the right, and no one is there.
Interesting.
And you hear from the other room, He's not in there. And he's like got food in his mouth. He speaks angrily, as always.
Did you see him walk out? I will ask him.
Yeah. A bit ago he did.
Nowhere to?
Not sure. Just told me I'm not supposed to leave.
Did you see where that red Church of the Red fella went then?
Church of the... No. And he kind of scratches... He's kind of like scratches his head, looks at you, and he goes, what are they doing here?
That's what I intend to find out. They said they were here for Domino, but I want to know why.
He shrugs and then starts up back to his meal.
Satira will take a look around. She didn't see where Mako walked off to while she waited for him to leave.
Unfortunately not.
Well, well, if they're not meeting in his office, left already. And this place is a little too big for me to bother checking every damned room for them. Guess I'll have to see tomorrow. Shame. I will locate my room.
You head back to the hallway,
Hmm.
and you find yourself with a series of stairs and 2 hallways, a labyrinth of a building, and currently all direction or people who could direct you seem to be missing. You find a difficult time figuring out where to go.
Well, I'll try and orient myself by going back to the library then.
Walking on the 2nd floor around the same curved hallway, you do find yourself to the library. All the lights dimmed, all the lanterns off, all the candles down, and from behind the center column with all the shelves and bookcases, the blue glow is the only thing that illuminates from behind, presumably from that fire.
Well. Unfortunate time to not have my guide. Fantastic. I'm gonna sneak into this library a little bit, I guess, and suppose I'll do a little bit of reading while I'm waiting for at least some sign of either Walter or someone else.
Roll an investigation check as you begin to look through all the books and just seeing if anything of interest as you're just trying to pass the time.
That's a natural 20 for 26. I would like to find that book on gods, like the known gods, and as well as that book on Azamar Celestials that she showed us earlier.
With ease, you pull those books from the shelves, and you don't even grab them all, as they're a bit too many to fully like it. But you get a good solid 6 books stacked as you hold them, and you walk them over to a place to sit down. You plop the books down. A few of them have a little bit of dust on them because there's only so many people reading. And you reach over to the right to light the candelabra in the area. But as you put your hand on it and you're trying to find there's a way to light these. You're currently grabbing your light, your personal flint to get that going.
Yeah.
You notice that underneath there and into there's like a recess in the wall of the brickwork that's behind the candelabra, almost covered.
Fascinating. Can Zatira see if there was any traces of someone using it, like, recently? Like,
Yeah, roll
Not
an
too
investigation. I will mention that this is
That
also. Excuse me. 18.
Yes,
I
literally.
I will mention that this is also the same desk in which Izzy was sitting reading at prior, doing her studies. Not the one where she was standing at, but the one she was sitting at when you first walked in. And with that was a 17, I believe.
18.
18. Then 18. You gather that this piece of the recess of the wall seems like it obviously has like a scuff mark of usage. Whether it had been used recently is undeterminable. However, its consistent usage is obvious.
I can see the seams, I can see the scuff marks implying its usage. Do I see any potential mechanism with which to open it?
So it is a brick shape, and in a brick wall, these gray and white stones, and the brick that you're noticing is recessed in a little bit. It is just different than the rest. Into the wall, I mean.
Very interesting. Well, hopefully everyone else is they're asleep. But Zatira will press her hand against the recess and see if that opens the mechanism.
You place your hand upon the brick and push it in further, and there's a and like the sound of grinding as the floor below you begins to swivel in this large circle, and as you notice, the entire desk, the entire floor gets completely rotated around as the wall starts to rotate, and you appear on the opposite side of the wall. It's seemingly replacing where you just were, and you are in darkness.
Interesting. There is no light source in this place, huh?
At the moment, no. There, you try to look around, I believe, and it's completely dark, pitch black.
Zatira will take out a candle,
Hmm.
And she will light it.
With
and
that,
will-
you find yourself in between two stone walls and a passage going there. Like to one way, it's a dead end, and the other way, a passage continuing forwards. And again, there's a small draft, this time stronger than before, cool air, reminiscent of that cool air you first felt in when you walked into the manor, except stronger, as though some kind of system of ventilation may perhaps.
Zatira will use her bit of her thaumaturgy to make her candlelight a little bit brighter, and will venture forward
Press-
carefully. It's
Pre-
to not alert anybody.
Roll a stealth check if you don't mind.
Stealth check. That is a modified 20.
You slink your way through this hallway,
Excellent.
and it breaks into 4 options: left, right, and straight. And what would you like to do in terms of decisions there?
And I will like move my candlelight low to the ground along the entrance to each different path and see if I can see any recent footprints.
You hold that down. Roll an investigation check there.
That is a 19 total.
19. As far as footprints, you place the candle low and you hold it to each one, and on the right turn you do see a path of usage, though very faint, existent nonetheless. And you also see that your candle, the light on it, begins to flicker as it starts getting pushed towards you, just a little bit, as the wind seems to be coming from that direction.
Zatira will carefully continue down that path.
Following that path, it's not too long before you again, not a crossroads, not a 4-way, but a 2-way, left and right.
She will repeat what she did before, looking for the footprints, see where they follow, or even using her candle again to see where the draft may be blowing it.
Looking down, the footprints in the candlelight match again. The lights giving you a direction, or sorry, the wind giving you a direction as you begin to pass through. And you go through a few junctions like this, traveling forwards, and you notice that there's a decline, though very faint, existent in your travels as you begin to slowly work your way through these in-between walls. There's at one point at a certain part of the wall where the right becomes wood, the left still stone, and you can hear a muffled voice talking.
Can she make anything out from what they're saying from where she is?
Roll a perception check as you place your ear to the wall.
That is, wow, another natural 20 for a total of 24.
You can hear a conversation. Well, yes, ma'am, Miss Sophia. I heard that my sister's be joining the Santiago family, which is particular because I heard that she was going to be leaving and I was quite concerned, but I'm kind of excited to see her again. And a soft voice kind of speaks back. Quite.
Does it sound familiar to me?
That voice sounds very familiar. It sounds like a younger brother of yours. Sounds like Zeke. And a different voice, one that you're not as familiar with, but you've heard before, speaks gently, and you can hear the sound of this, like, sort of this, like, scraping sound, and it's with a natural 20, you can gather that it's the brushing of hair of some sort. Kind of, you can hear it just kind of repetitively happening, and a voice responds, yes, we're going to, or I'm going to see that we get her room right next to yours. She may not be there tonight, or if she's staying tonight, I really don't know. This is all things that are maybes. I don't want to get your hopes up. It's just something that Sawyer mentioned. I heard you've done wonders for me, and I figured your sister would do the same as she has for Sebastian. So it should be a good choice, I believe. Honestly, I think it's going to keep him. I always worry about her being in trouble, so this is going to be nice that she's going to be working for somebody more like Sawyer than Sebastian. Sebastian, I get always the sense that something bad could happen, but with Sawyer at her back, I don't think anyone could touch her. Well, don't be so sure. And you gather that the conversation will continue uneventful further than that.
Satura will carefully step away out of from the room and try and take the path backwards that she took to eventually leave that secret area.
Leave the hallways?
Yes.
Okay. And the hallway does continue. That wasn't a dead end, but you do turn around and you begin to head back the way you came. Not too long before, if you so wish, you make it to the exit, back where you came from.
Oh. Interesting development. Satura will make sure that she closes the secret entrance.
You press it, and again the wall does a rotation. You standing on the side, the desk and whatnot is now on the side that you're on. And as you press it, the desk moves along with the ground, and you appear back in the library. It's as quiet as before.
Do I know where my brother's room is in this manner? If I've ever visited him here before?
Unfortunately, he was moved in after you had lost your apartment due to the red taking it. So you do not know.
So I don't. Well, I guess there's nothing left for me to do again, but wait, and I will really want to continue my reading.
You begin reading, and
I keep my candlelight again to light the view in my books.
you spend some time reading, and you're gathering more knowledge that you can recall upon in the future. Before there's a chill, and this had been about after 30 to 35 minutes. There's a chill that runs down your spine, contrary to your normally hot blood, and you get this feeling as though there are eyes upon you and that you're being watched. And it just feels off.
I will take a bit of a look around, a brief look around.
You pull the book down that you're reading, and as you turn your left shoulder, a hand appears upon it. It startles you for a second as you jump, and an individual, Walter, Master Zatira, I see you're taking on reading for the afternoon. Would you mind if I bring you to your room?
Don't start with me like that.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Did not mean to intrude or interrupt. Reading can be very fruitful, but I do need to get you situated for the night. You can join the library back after the fact.
But if you wouldn't mind, I'd like to bring at least one of these books back with me into my room and at least continue my reading. There's something I want to look into.
Miss Zatira, there are particular rules in this house.
I was informed that the books should not be checked out of the library, but I'm not keeping it for myself. I'm not going to keep it in my room. It's not going to leave the building. I just want to look into something in particular before I go to bed.
He leans in, and not too close, not to an uncomfortable level, but just a little bit, just to like accentuate his point. And he gives you a bit of a jovial smile as he goes, "But you're new, and if you don't tell Sawyer, I won't either. Just take one though, if you don't mind. Less noticeable."
And thank you, Walt. If you wouldn't mind helping me move the rest of these ones back on the shelves, some of them are a bit hefty.
Absolutely. In fact, I can handle them from after the fact. Let me bring you over, choose a book of your liking, and I'll have you at least see a room for the night. And I will handle these.
If there's a book that covers like the most like general information about the gods of this world, including Bahamut or like any other gods or like history, lore, religion, in one particular book, she would take that one with her.
There's like an encyclopedia of divinities and the divine and their various various things. It's just a general list, but it's very expansive and it goes over a few accolades to each religion. And you gather that, and with that, you and Sawyer retire over, or not retire, excuse me. He brings you over to a room. This will be temporary. We're going to get you situated properly later. But with Mr. Mako bringing another requested item, we have something that you might be appreciative of. But this will be your room. You have a fantastic night. You may return to the library. And then again, don't get too comfortable because we may be moving you soon. We just have to get a few things in order. But this will be temporary.
Understood. And thank you again, Walter.
Absolutely. You have a wonderful night. And he gives you a bow before disappearing back to the, or not just disappearing, but walking back into the manor.
And she will curtsy and say, "You have a good evening as well," and we'll enter a room. And if there's a desk in there, she will have her candle again, make it a little bit brighter, and then try and get at least like 1 hour of reading in this book, and then she will retire for the night.
Absolutely. There is a desk, and it's a fine room with finer bedding than you've ever experienced with your history. It's quite nice, actually. And then the desk itself is a good workspace with a solid amount of space. It's a decent, much better than your old flat. And you read for an hour, kind of so focused on the book you don't care to notice the other things in the room at the moment. And so you finish a good hour of reading, and you start to get exhausted, and you head to bed. And as you sit down on the bedside and you take off your shoes and you look to the right, there's a large chest, one you may recognize. It is your luck chest.
I was worried I'd never see you again, as you'll rub the top of it a little bit. Well, at least now I can keep my morning routine. And she will, after she's done reading, she will then sleep for the night.
With that, Zatira. Sorry.
What all did she get from that book? I think she would pay. She would skim a little bit, looking for details on, like, why Gold Mask, whatever, Book Bears got a man. But if she couldn't find anything, she just goes straight to Bahamut-based stuff.
The book is organized in orders, and I want you to roll a religion check for Zatira to be capable of knowing immediately what order to find that information.
Understood. That is a 12 religion.
You begin looking, and your first look is for that of the god Y. Though you did not, this book is thick. You did not, and you spent an hour on it. You look through it. You notice that it doesn't have too much of a table of contents at the beginning. Instead, it has a domain, and then each domain has hundreds of pages in each one. So you can find domain life at page 1, and then it does not explain what's in domain life. And then in page 207, you can find the domain nature. So with that being the case, you don't immediately know where Y would fit. What would you like to choose as the possible domain of Y? You want to know your options being, and this is a kind of a list: War, Tempest, Order, Light, Grave, Arcana, Nature, Knowledge, and Death.
She, based on the interests that she's gathered on it, now, like, it's trying to possess people. It's trying to get information from people. It's using different spies, and like ones that won't remember that they were spies. Knowledge is, I think, the one she's gonna check first.
Knowledge. All right. One moment. The knowledge domain is quite thick, thicker than some of the other sections. You begin to scan over. Immediately what you do is you look for the name headers on each god, trying to skim through it. Unfortunately, it's terribly organized, and some of the gods start halfway through a page rather than getting a dedicated space. It's poorly written.
Right.
And unfortunately, though you find things of Gond, the crafting artificer smith worker, and you find things of Lydia, the knowledge of music and storytelling and daylight. You hear of Mystra, the dead god, but you don't find anything on Y. And with you choosing knowledge, I will mention on the Mystra section, just catching you off guard with with there being such a title as the dead god, you learn of a thing known as the Grey Rot, a blight upon the land where magics become incapable and people drain, and it's known to spread. But the great suspended assembly and the researchers at Lowe have learned of a method of restricting it after it's grown. This blight was created after another god had slain Mystra outside the walls of the bulwark. Ever since then, magic's never been the same.
Interesting. She couldn't find anything on why, but that is neat information to get. She will try and look more into Bahamut.
I'll have you roll another religion check for that one, unless you would want to choose one.
She may try Order.
Order.
domain.
Pulling up Bahamut, pulling up Order. Your eyes growing heavy and your exhaustion kicking in. It's been a full 24 hours. And you had not strained yourself as Kalakath, which is why you may read, just so you know, Kalakath, not to get mad. You did not transform and shoot magic and exhaust. But all this to say, upon the Order domain, there are 4 gods. Bane, Voltus, Tyr, and Wajas, excuse me. but no speak of Bahamut.
I have to look through the other domains later, I suppose.
Exhaustion does take you.
Yeah. She will close. Actually, she's gonna take a quill. She's gonna, that's maybe in the room. She's gonna place it right on the page where she had left off, and like have it so that she would be able to feel like where she left off.
Mm.
There's like a little bit of a bookmark, and close the book on it.
That makes sense. You do so, and the night comes. Would that be all that you'll do for this afternoon?
That is all I shall do.
Traveling back to the other party. Eventually, morning comes. And you all awake with a nice, your eyes flutter open, and it's the rain had passed, and a new day has come.
So, do we still have our prisoner?
You do.
And I look over to our prisoner.
Your prisoner's unmoving and unawake.
Oh no.
How sleepy is this man?
He's so sleepy. I guess invisibility spells really take it out of you.
Wasn't a spell, was a potion.
Well, maybe he has a low tolerance for that sort of stuff.
Don't think that's how it works.
Yeah. Does this place have a bathroom? I gotta go do some stuff.
Yeah, it's called outside.
Well, I need a mirror.
Huh?
I'm sorry, is something confusing you? I need a mirror.
Or?
Attending to all of this, and I wave around looking at my hair, my long white hair that is in disarray from last night's actions, and you know, I need
Go find
Here.
a puddle.
you know, maybe hanging out with the bad guys was cooler. I go with my little, makeup kit, and comb, try to find a mirror. Or try to find a puddle.
You look through the old destroyed, and there's no mirrors in the church, and then you go outside and you go to their little outhouse, and there's no mirrors in the outhouse, and then you do have to resort to puddles left from the last night's rain on the you're currently doing your makeup, and there's literally people traveling on horses past you. Occasionally one steps and it splashes into your face.
Oh no.
Oh, does my mascara run from that?
Astrid.
It's not waterproof.
Astrid finally
The
wakes
pain
up.
of this place.
Arya's no good, terrible, horrible, very bad day.
Very bad hair day.
First, I guess technically the second thing Calicath does when he wakes up is he sits down and reads his book.
And that you do. You changing your spells out and properly getting. You can add and change as you wish.
Thank you. Appreciate it. I've added 2 additional spells to my repertoire.
Waking up a little bit later, the smell of food begins to kind of fill the air as eggs are being cooked by Miss Nadine at the front of the church, and she's like, sorry if I wake you, just making breakfast. I gotta get it ready for the kids.
I assume at this point I come back. Oh, what are you making?
I'm making
And do you
eggs.
need any help?
Oh, well, sure. Careful about that one. He's still sleeping. And she nudges towards towards Astrid, who has yet to speak. So he's just in a deep sleep.
He'll do that from time to time.
Right. Well, any way I can help, I'd love to. And you said your name was Nadine? Yes, Lady Nadine?
That's my name. Yes. Please grab that over there. She points over to an herb currently hanging off the wall, growing freely, next to a paper mache golden mask on its left. And the whole wall is full of paper mache golden mask.
Arya doesn't look too far into that and gives her the herb that she requires. It's like, oh, well, this
Thank you.
seems lovely. What is it?
This
Smells
is. You've never seen parsley before? Are you not familiar with cooking?
No, I'm not very familiar with cooking. Usually I have other people do it for me. I've never.
He didn't know what meat was.
Yes.
Oh. That's okay. I'm particularly. I prefer. I can help you learn if you're interested in learning new skills. It's always good to be able to cook for yourself. Much cheaper that way, and
Yeah.
you don't have to
I-
visit the
I-
tavern every night.
Oh yes. It seems like it's going to be a skill that I'll need, especially considering where I'm at. To learn what this food stuff is that people are making.
And her eyebrows furrowed. She looks at you. Have you not heard of food? What do you mean food?
Wait.
Why do you say it like that?
Well, where I'm from, we don't have food. We have meals. And festivals. And it's never... Things aren't usually given names. It's usually, hey, that looks tasty. I'll take some of that.
Her
all
eyebrows
very-
drop, her face goes like flat, and she just looks at you with a like, all right. Like at this point she thinks you're fucking with her. I don't have to
No.
teach
No,
you if
just
you want to
hear
be
food.
sassy.
Oh, no, I'm not... I'm sorry. It's just a... I'm not from around here, I guess, and...
I've dealt with
Certain
that
things-
one sass long enough. And she points at Kalakath.
He puts his book down and says, "Ma'am, with all due respect, he's being serious."
She
Yeah.
just kind of like, she doesn't believe you because you're you, and she just gives you a and gets back to work.
Anyways, let me learn from you, please.
And she starts to teach you, and it's not too long before the doors blast open as kids go running, like kind of running in. There's like a stampede of children and people running around. There's food kind of going everywhere. The smell of is in the air, and the tables are getting pushed back into place as the kids know what's what. They're fixing the chairs and doing the things. A couple kids at this point, Astrid's probably woken up. A couple kids are actually, they're kind of like poking you.
Yeah. When I hear the doors like bash open, and I hear the shouts of children.
Uh-huh.
He jerks awake. He's like, "We're under attack! Kalakath, Arya, battle stations!" Oh,
He just starts
Hey,
throwing
kids.
haymakers at the kids.
There's
All
kids
these
like,
halflings that snuck up on us!
oh, hey
no.
kids, I remember you.
they panic
Let's go,
in
eggs.
fear for a second before like chilling out.
Sorry, guys. What's
Uh,
cooking?
Unresolved trauma. That's what he's cooking, my friend.
Hey, read your book.
As you, she points over. She's like, "Well, what's cooking is we're making eggs, and I'm working on some vegetables, and Arya's burning water."
Yes.
I love cooking. Can I please help? I'm a whiz in the kitchen.
By all means, grab a bowl, or a pot.
Yes.
Excuse me.
How about a knife and a plate?
Grab a knife, a plate.
Is there any
Kid-
meat?
I don't think that's part of the cooking, brother.
As far as the food,
You're a whiz at the dinner table, not the kitchen.
Nah, man.
Is there-
You gotta fashion the meat, dude. You gotta dress the meat, man.
as far as meat goes,
Interesting
this
meat.
place is very lacking in anything very good. You see grains, you see rice, you see lots of vegetation. There are peppers that she's capable of growing, but in terms of meat, the chickens are the main source of protein that these kids get. Mostly because she can take care of them by giving them feed them her magics, and there's not much more extravagant meat besides that. I'm so sorry.
All right, that's fine.
That's all we
fine.
have.
Let's cook up. No. Don't apologize. You give us room and board. At least let me help cook breakfast.
I will say, if you're here on Thursdays, we make a point to go by the market to pick up fish And we make fish in the afternoons to try and get a little splurge for the kids.
Has
Oh,
Astrid
that's
ever
sweet.
had fish before? I don't think Astrid's ever had fish.
You ate fish at the last night at Sawyer's.
Oh, where is that? What that was? I thought it was
Wow.
pork chop.
It
Well, we
was
had
pork
fish
chop
and pork
fish.
chop. I
And-
ate
and-
fish, and you had my pork chop.
And you had your own fish
Oh,
as well.
word.
Wow,
Oh,
Astrid
cool.
never having
I was-
fish? Wow, that's so weird.
They also go ice
Anyway.
fishing in the Frost Bowls today.
Cool.
But
I
you
didn't
would,
know that.
yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Cool.
Uh,
Well, let me get some vegetables. Oh, is that parsley? Everyone knows what parsley is.
Everybody's cooking and dressing foods, and eventually everybody's eating at the long tables. It's kind of awkward. You three are sitting at the end of a table, and then down the table is a bunch of children, ages from 15 down to like 6 and 7, all just kind of. It's like kind of like Astrid. Your legs are kind of scrunched up as you're sitting at a kid's table because there's nothing else. And Kalikath, you've been more comfortable. Your legs are like kind of like put like you're kind of sitting like L from Death Note.
From Death
It's
Note,
just
yeah.
because you've been here for a very long time, kind of deal. So you know how to sit proper in these chairs. Yeah. And
This is
everybody enjoys
great.
their breakfast.
Eating together is always fun.
Wow.
This food is delicious and
It's-
free. Oh, thank you, Nadine.
It's nice. I don't.
Parts of it.
I learned so much, I feel like.
Yeah. I
That's
saw
great.
you burning
Eat
the
your
water.
food
I'm not
before
even
I
sure how
do.
you managed to do that.
Yeah, burning water is just unnatural to me. But I'll get better.
Yeah, unnatural
Can I
to me too. It's not supposed to happen.
Yes.
Can I try and sneak a vegetable off of Arya's plate while they're talking about burning water?
Roll stealth, or roll sleight of hand.
Word.
If I see it, I'm going to stab him
Word.
as hard as I can with a knife or with my fork.
That's a 4.
Oh my
Oh no!
I would like to roll. I'd like to roll to attack. I'll just use that arm strike to hit.
Yeah.
That is a 23.
Jesus Christ.
Roll a d4 and add your strength modifier.
Oh no.
Holy shit.
All right.
First damage of the day. PvP. Let's go. PvP.
my D4, I rolled a 2 plus my strength. Altogether is a 6.
Oh, so Astrid, you're reaching for the vegetables. You're like, and then like in a flash, there's a fork in your hand, and it goes like like about an inch deep before it bends, and like it bends awfully against your bone, and it's lodged in your hand. And as he lets go, it's still in your hand.
Okay, you could have just said no. You take too long to eat.
Holy shit.
I'm gonna
Oh, so-
rip the fork out and throw it against the wall so he can go get it himself because that was very rude.
As you
So,
rip the
oh.
fork out, flesh comes with it, and you take 2 points of damage.
oh, sorry about that. Sorry about that, Astrid. It's just you surprised me. Let me help you with that, and I
Your hand's
lay on
fucked.
hands.
We're
I lay on hands for
dinner table with kids.
8 HP.
As you
Blurting his
stab
blood
him,
out of his hand
all
on
of the
everybody's
kids go
food.
silent, and they all kind of like look at you as you guys are continuing, and Ashton rips the fork out of his hands, and all the kids go "Ah!" Like there's gasp upon the table. It's like a chunk of your flesh comes out, and you're like, you throw it to the floor, and you're like, that wasn't called for. And then like they're just panicking, and then Nadine turns around, she's like, oh, what's happened?
Everything's fine.
Nothing, kids.
Nothing.
Kids are making a fuss over
Astrid, let me-
breakfast.
Let me see your hand, Astrid. Give that to me.
They're doing that
Eat your
thing
food, kids.
where one has panicked, and so the others have panicked as well, and like it's like their chain reaction. They don't know, like half of them don't know what happened. I want you to roll a intimidation to get them the eat your food kids thing.
Eat your food, kid.
Okay. It's a 5.
You
very
hit the table, and you're like, eat your foods, kids. And like the children are crying. There's like people kind of like they're grabbing their food. Some are like rushing around. They don't know what to do. One's like, Nadine, what's happening?
Kalakath's face is absolutely buried in his hands.
I grab Astrid's hands and try to heal him for the damage that he lost. Like, I give him 8 HP. Like, here you go. Sorry. It was a reaction, I promise. It wasn't. No.
Nadine,
You're right. I probably should have asked. Are you going to eat that?
Oh, no, you can have it.
Cool.
you guys continue that
And
conversation
I come-
as they're just panicking.
And I come out all the better.
And Nadine has to calm them down. She's like turning around. She's hurting the kids, the younger ones. And the thing is, like, the two people right next to you screamed. The rest of the table didn't know what was happening. They were all just like, something's happening and something's bad, and like it just escalated. And then you yelled and it escalated. And Nadine's like calming them down and calming them down. You're like continuing your conversation of, sorry about the food, man. As there's just like this chaos, and Calicat has his hand in his head. And eventually she calms them down.
Hey, sorry, kids. False alarm. It's okay. Hey, team. We gotta
That
talk
was
about
delicious.
something. That was really good. That was really good. Hey, team. We gotta talk about something.
Yeah, you stabbed each other after we were kindly given free room and food.
Yeah.
Oh, I wasn't. I was the stabbee, not the stabber.
I mean, Astrid, do you have
So
any
why
hard
don't you
feelings?
cut me some
or-
slack?
You know.
No, just don't do it again,
Okay. Well.
and I'll ask next time.
Okay. Well, I think we all learned our lesson.
Well, I'll go take my plate to the sink, and then I'm gonna go outside and do some stretches.
Oh well, I was gonna tell
and
you
some shadow
something
boxing to
very
get me ready for the
important.
day.
But okay, I guess you
Well,
can
you can do it outside. Come on.
leave.
Pass.
Fine. I guess we'll talk outside where everyone can hear us.
Astrid, you're grabbing your equipment. You're grabbing your items. I want you to roll a
Very
perception
secluded
check.
place. All right, perception check. Oh my God, what are these rolls? Is a natural 1 for a 6?
Oh my god.
You gra-
It's just like swiping everybody else's.
Woo!
Like,
I think I should
roll
just
power.
I think I should just hop off, man. That's it for me.
Nothing.
Lost all my stuff. That a natural 1.
You head on out. Not really anything goes on.
Cool.
Wow.
I have everything, right?
Yeah.
I thought that was the answer.
As far as you know, yeah.
Yeah, I
as
guess.
far as you know,
as far as
yeah.
you know, as far as you know.
I mean, you got everything.
Well, how about I do it? Let me do a double check because I'm meticulous.
You rolled a 1. Sorry.
Yeah, too bad.
You were grabbing
did
your
roll
things.
one.
You had a mission. Your mission's to go work out outside.
Yep.
And poor Arya was like, "Hey, by the way,
All right.
okay."
While he's doing that, I guess I'll help clean up to try to make it up to Nadine for scaring the kids. Or
You
let's try to do something to make it up.
you go ahead and you start working that. And there's this there's one of the older girls there. She kind of stands up to you, and she walks up and she goes, how did you do that with his hand?"
Oh, well, I had a fork, right? And,
Oh,
well,
no, not that.
I
I
don't
was sitting right next to you.
Oh.
I saw that, but the after thing.
oh, that. Well, it's, I've always known how to do that. What I do is I take something that's hurt, and I like to think of something that makes me happy, and you know, they usually do things a little bit better.
That was
So
that was amazing.
Yeah. I grabbed his hand and I thought of my hometown, and protecting that and protecting the people that are near and dear to me, and it made it all better.
Nadine says I need to learn something, a skill, and I saw the other one the other day, exercising, and I watched him, and I liked what he was doing, but that was interesting as well. I don't mean to bother you in your breakfast, but I'm just trying to figure out what my skill will be. And I'll leave you to it. And she starts to turn around.
Well, whatever skill it is, I'm sure it'll wow the world.
And she smiles and kind of nervously disappears back into the crowd. She was sitting closest to you guys, and particularly this was the one sitting closest to Astrid, watching, just learning, that kind of thing. Seems like they had caught an interest from their last visit.
Okay. Cool, we're getting fans, which is making Arya very happy. Now he's going to do the less than happy thing, clean up.
You guys begin cleaning up.
While they are doing that, Kalakath is going to slink away from the table to. Is there anywhere that would be a little bit of solitude?
Oh yeah, there. You actually have your own little cabin thing that is yours and dedicated to you. It hasn't been visited in some time, but you and your brother, not blood brother, but your social brother, used to share that together.
I would like to head to that room for a moment.
You head off from the crowd and you make your way there. Currently, you are alone in an old home, not quite dust-filled. You've been here not too long ago, but one that you know very well.
Once I enter the room, before even scanning the old room, I move to open my bag and I start fiddling through it and I check for the silver vine.
You pull out the box, and I want you to roll a perception check.
I got a 6.
Wow.
6. Pull out the box from your bag, and there's nothing particularly of interest. The box is there. It's in your bag. You're good.
I would like to open the box for a
What-
moment.
With that, the box kind of opens up like a book as before. You open it up slightly, waiting for those tendrils to come out. And nothing. You open it up slightly more, and you have an empty box.
Can I check for any sort of inclination that my things have been messed with?
Roll perception. Roll an investigation check. As you start to pilfer, you start to panic, pulls things out of your bag.
A 9.
Everything's there. Everything besides this vine. Nothing seems to be hampered with. It's a drawstring bag, and your other bag is just a clasp over the top, and everything seems normal besides this. But this is a big something.
There's no scratch marks along the box or any sign that it was handled, to my knowledge.
It's hard to tell. You just got this box and you look over and you're like, shit, what did it look like? You're not really sure if there are abrasions of the box, but that could have happened in travel, that could have happened before you had it, that could have happened while you had it. Who knows? But the fact remains that it is missing.
Only a few people that knew we were here. Nadine. Possibly Pearl. My friends. Satira has not touched the box. It was safely in my bag in the mansion. Surely I would have known had someone interacted with it. There's no reason why Nadine would have took it. Well, I place the box back in my bag and try to put on a calm face. And I start moving out of my room in an attempt to look for Nadine.
You walk back out of your little hut is at the very end, down 12 other huts. You come out, your face is pale, but you're keeping your composure to the best of your ability. And with a slow stomp to your walk, your heart rate's raising. You make your way past. There's a couple people watching Astrid work, like doing shadow boxing in the field, working out, doing various things. There's a couple kids kind of watching, and there's that dark-haired individual kind of like analyzing. You can see her sketching something in her book. You slowly walk past that. You take a left. You go around the side of the church, and you can almost feel this like coldness in your breath, and your heart and your hands become sweaty. You were the last one with the vine, and who knows how Astrid will react to that. You're the last one with the vine, and people already are suspicious of you with other connections. This is not a good look. And you walk in. Arya's currently cleaning the dishes along with Nadine.
I walk up to them and I place my hand on Nadine's shoulder.
Oh, what's up? How can I help you, Cal? Would you like to assist? Just getting things fixed up from last dinner. Breakfast, sorry.
With a straight, cold stare, I say, I need to talk to you.
Oh. Arya, this seems serious. Would you mind, checking on the kids outdoors, make sure that Astrid's not accidentally using one of them as a weapon?
Absolutely. I'd love to. And I go out and try to make as many small fans as possible.
All right, you head out, and left in the building is Kalakath, Nadine, and you, and the box.
Come to your room.
I don't really like to bring anyone up there. Isn't this something that can be talked about down here? It's kind of my own space. You've never been up there anyways, except for that one time.
I would like to be as close to it as possible when we have this conversation.
As close to it? Okay.
Yes.
And she starts to head up the stairs. She's leading. Again, she's barefoot at all times, and she heads her way up the ladder. And she eventually and you eventually follow her. And behind you, there's an open space and a bed. And then forwards is that room. The room where you drank the tea, the room with the fire, the room with so much history behind it. The room you've only seen once before, lined with artifacts and different vegetations you've never seen before, living vines with faces. Just beyond that room. And she opens the door and ushers you in. And you both walk in, and in the center of the room, hanging down from a vine with vines currently wrapped around the eye sockets, holding it in place, a gold mask sits above cinders. Not a fire, and it's currently dull and out, but red cinders, currently with a little bit of heat. It hangs in the room like the very center of everything, like a web almost. What's this about, Kalakath?
I need you to tell me, how well guarded is this place?
This is a church. We can't guard ourselves from the rain and the elements. We don't have the money for much more.
Please, I know who you are. You know who I am. We both
Yes.
know we have magical abilities. Would you know
Yes.
if anyone snuck into this place?
Oh, well, you all made it in, and I hadn't known till you had yelled. I've never had to worry about trespassers before. We even keep the doors unlocked. No one wants to break into an orphanage. It's not like we have gold and hardly have food. Why?
I reach into my bag and I pull out the box, and I hold it out to her.
What's this?
Nadine, I'm going to tell you this because I trust you. have you ever heard of the Silver Vine?
And like, almost, even though it almost has nothing, but maybe something, like the wind in the room kind of shifts, and the mass that teeters and like slowly swings left and right in the middle of the room, but by that vine slowly twists just ever so oddly and awkwardly, facing you, the eyes. No. Although I've had dreams about this object.
Can I roll
It
an
might
insight
fit.
check on that?
You can roll an insight check on that. And as she's going to continue while you do this insight check.
Yeah, go
Dreams of an object, a spear, but not a spear, much smaller. A pick with lines all around it, almost alive. I think of it as something I'm supposed to grow, but I try and I can't do that. I can't make that, but I get these visions of making it or seeing it, and I assume I need to make it, and nothing. But does this fit any description? And what's your insight roll?
14.
14. She's hard to gauge. She's always been. She from the moment you met her, she's always been stronger than she's let on. She's always seemed weaker than she is. She's always been coyer than she allows. But like in this instance, it's no different than any other situation where if she's telling the truth, it sounds just as much as if she's lying.
Kalakath slowly moves to his knees and bows to her while holding the box. And he says, Nadine, this box, up until last night, held the Silver Vine. And Kalakath is fully aware of the mask that faced him.
Nadine looks at you confused. Her head tilts to the side a little bit. And then she almost stops listening to you. Her ears perk up a little bit, her eyes kind of like, from focus on you, which you're kneeling, she kind of looks upwards and to the left a bit, almost as though she's recalling something. No, not recalling something. Hearing something. And she thinks for a moment, she looks at you. I think he would like to talk with you.
I would rather if he didn't. I am here to speak with you and you alone. Whether he listens or not is fine with me, but I have no interest in speaking with him.
I roll a persuasion check as you try to convince her to not put on the mask in this instance. As she's already heading her way to it slightly.
A 19.
18. She stops and she looks at you. Oh, okay. Just know he wants to. And she scratches her chin. She thinks for a bit and she goes, but, we can approach that if you agree, I suppose.
Dean, someone was in this building last night, this morning, surely while I was unconscious, and took this.
Is this what
This
I've been
is
having dreams
life.
about? Is that the same as what I described?
Yes, it is. This is life or death to me.
Regardless of what you said, her face lightens and a smile almost like kind of comes across the sides of her mouth, and she kind of smiles and she goes, Then I did it right. I must have done well. Oh, this is so good, Kalakath. We're completing our purpose, and I hadn't even known. I was just giving you home. This is good, Kalakath. And she grabs your cheeks.
Nadine,
The dreams must have been about you. That's why he wanted me to give you the bandages.
this isn't good, Nadine, because it's gone. It's not here.
No, it's with him. It has to be. It has to be,
No.
right? Who else would it be?
There are so many people that want it. Some more than him.
And her eye,
Nadine.
her left eye kind of like twitches and like kind of falls focus on you. Her right eye is still on you, and she like grabs her head like she's in pain a little bit. But her smile doesn't fade, and she looks like she's in like almost euphoria with her words. It's good, Kalakath. We're doing the right thing.
Can I roll an Arcana check on her?
Yeah. What are you looking?
A
Well,
19.
19.
Looking for any possible signs of possession, any signs of her being encased in some sort of spell, pretty much an aura of magic that doesn't stem from her.
You would know
Own
that
abilities.
those underneath the spell's effect would like now an item that is enchanted has an obvious tell, the glimmer. An individual under a spell effect, unless it's that of flying, invisibility, something obvious like a chair being animated, doesn't give much of any kind of, even with a 20, doesn't give any kind of indication per se. It would be more of a insight roll and you determining on your own basis. It's really challenging to determine if there's magic after a spell's already casted. It's very, very challenging because it's there. It's already, it's not something, you would see the magic casting with an Arcana check, but you wouldn't see it imprinted unless it's a physical item. So with that, I'm afraid you don't gather anything of good use.
Kalakath stands back up and drops the box on the ground and says, "Let me speak to him."
Okay. She walks away around the fire slowly. She kind of has like a stammer to her step. She's quite old and her movements are frail as she steps. Give me one moment. And while that's happening, Arya, we're gonna move over to Arya and Astrid real quick for just a moment. As you guys, Arya, what are you doing out there with Astrid?
Well, clearly we're teaching the kids martial arts. That's just how it is, right?
Mm-hmm. If you guys want to take that over.
Okay. I didn't think I would have to explain it, but
No, all right. You're teaching the
Very-
martial arts as they're
Well, if
they're
you're trying to
watching
teach
you.
them,
now I'll explain.
Okay,
it.
okay.
I'm trying to teach. I mean, you
How
gotta.
do you teach?
Well, kids, it's quite simple, and I pick up a stick, and I try to look for I don't know. Astrid, come over here. Hey, we're gonna do a bit, all right? This is gonna be cool.
A bit.
Yeah, a bit. And
Oh,
I give Astrid a stick, and then myself a stick as well. All right, kids, this is the first thing you need to know about fighting. If y'all are interested, I'm sure y'all are. And it's the best defense is a really good offense. And don't worry about defending, because honestly, if you hit them fast enough, you're good. And basically, I try to initiate a play fight with sticks with Astrid.
All right. As you guys are fighting along, I'll have you quickly roll an attack with your normal weapon. And then Astrid, I want you to roll a attack at disadvantage as you are holding a stick and you don't really know how to wield a stick.
19.
What am I? What with what die? What like
Uh,
use my quarterstaff stats or?
if you wanted to, you guys, as you could use quarterstaff, you could unarmed as he attacks you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
on guard, Astrid.
Roll
Yeah,
with
yeah.
disadvantage. Okay, that's either a 20. That's either a 22 or an 11. So an 11.
All right. Basically, it's a scene of Ario kind of whacking at
confused.
Astrid as Astrid's just kind of confused and going like, "What are you doing?" And there's like, "Cha, whack, whack, whack," hitting onto Astrid's stony form, and he's like, "What are you doing?" And the whack, and the stick snaps in half as it hits one time, and Ario reaches down and grabs a second stick. The kids are just kind of also confused.
Well, seeing that the
What?
kids are
Dude.
confused.
I don't use sticks. Our kids. Please pay attention. First step in hand-to-hand combat. Feet, positioning, and stance. You want your feet firmly, and quite evenly spaced. One foot in front of the other. Hands up. Always in front of you. Clenched. Ready to throw a punch. Now don't throw your whole body into it. You have to lean into the punch, children. Like
Well,
this. And I throw one punch, and then I throw another punch.
All right, roll to hit.
Or you're just
Who am I
hitting the
hitting?
air, right?
Are you hitting Aria or are you hitting
Yes,
the air?
I'm hitting the. No, I'm not gonna hit.
Sorry.
No, I'm not hitting
Throw
Aria.
a punch at Arya, coward. Throw a punch at Arya.
Throw a punch at
coward.
Aria, coward.
Coward. Coward.
All right, you're swinging
All
to
right,
the air.
fine. I'll throw a punch at. I'll throw a punch at Aria. Fine.
He's
Voices in my
take
head.
that shit lying down.
Yeah,
That's a
he hit you with the
natural
stick.
20 for 25.
There we go.
There you go.
Like this, kids.
Like this, kids. Ah!
Remove
That's
flesh and bone.
11 damage.
11 damages. He just lays into you. Would you like to try to stun him?
This is for the fork.
Would you like
No.
to stun me?
No. All right. There's a whack as the resounding thing happens. Arya, you're hitting him with the stick like this is form, and you get fucking blasted in the stomach. The wind getting knocked out of you.
I make it a little bit more dramatic. It'd be like, "Ah," like, oh, it appears as though my opponent is quite strong. I'll have to upgrade. And I pull out the stick again and twist it around
Oh.
on guard and just keep play fighting with them, I guess.
All
I
right.
don't think you have to be dramatic.
Oh, it for sure hurt. Like Arya felt the pain. It's super hurt. He's trying to play it off. I don't know how well he's playing it off.
Want to roll to hit?
Yeah, as
Roll to hit with the stick.
Yeah. Improvised weapon. So we're just gonna do an unarmed
Yeah.
strike for this. Unless you have
All
the
right.
improvised weapon stats.
27.
why are we doing this?
Oh my
27.
Yep.
All
Yeah.
right, you roll to hit. Give a one. That's so as the stick kind of cracks into you, you hit him firm and hard right on the top of the head, and it does 1 damage, Astrid, as the stick snaps in half.
Well, kids, that was the show. Does anyone have any favorite songs? What do y'all
Alright,
do?
you guys
What do y'all
you guys-
do?
break down.
What is wrong with you, children? Okay, if you're ever in a fight, just watch what your opponent does, and if they pull out something bigger than a stick, be on your toes and use your nimble frame to either run or dodge. Okay, children?
They're all like nodding and listening and watching and being entertained in general. And we'll head back
Yeah.
over to.
As long as the kids are entertained, that's the
Really
important bit.
You would absolutely astral.
I was hoping that would be so funny.
knock the shit out of Arya.
That could have been so. Anyways.
Imagine this is where James lost his third character.
Ah, that would be so
That would
funny.
be so funny.
That would be incredibly funny.
All right, we'll go back to Kalakath. With that, while that's happening outside, they're sparring and having a little bit of a goof battle. You're upstairs and having a quite more contrastingly far more serious situation go on, and Dean kind of reaches her hand up over the embers, slightly illuminating the room with a red glow, as that's the only form of light except for 2 small like candles on either wall. The vine kind of heads towards her hand and it reaches into she kind of grabs it through the eye sockets, grabs to the top of it, and slowly pulls it to her face. The wind kind of blows as it kind of comes over. As she dawns on the mask, the candles go out and the light goes completely to darkness for a moment. There's no light whatsoever until the red glow of the embers seems to glow brighter, and you can see Nadine's form, only red now. The entire room illuminated in red as she looks up at you, these void eyes.
Well done, Calicat. I wish to reward you.
What have you done?
I've won. I've retrieved the vine, as I was so worried you wouldn't bring to me. But with all of your kind, exhaustion sets. So, come to me within the sewers. Let me grant you your reward. You deserve it. I knew betting on you would work. I knew that it would be a good one. You were always so persistent.
How long have I been a pawn in this game? How long have you been using Nadine to manipulate me?
Oh, your feeble mind wouldn't understand the kind of lengths I've had to go. Before you arrived, my dear Calicath. Before you arrived. In the sewers. In the deepest depths.
Nadine was never my grandmother, was she?
No. If you really believe such a thing, you're an orphan. Nevermore. You've served well. Allow me to reward you. Let me clear your bounty.
When he says this, Calicath reaches up to his bandages and pulls them down from his face, and he is smiling wide. He's the biggest grin he's ever displayed, teeth on full show. And he says,
Monster! As beautiful as they come!
he says, it looks like we'll be meeting in the sewers then.
Yes. We will.
And I cast Thunderwave.
An explosion amidst the day, a beautiful sunny one, as Astrid and Arya spar, interrupted by this massive explosion, shrapnel, the church gone, the whole world enveloped in sound. The entire bell, kind of all that was poorly staying there from the first place, clungs downwards almost on top of you, but the blast sends it outwards. The walls themselves eviscerate. The ground on the second floor explodes as the world, in your world, silent. But everyone else is interrupted with this massive thong of interruption. And we will end tonight's session there.
Oh no!
Well,
This is horrible!
yeah, we just handed it to him.
Good night, everyone.
No! Don't say goodnight to me!
Next episode
No!
Oh.
on the reception table.